Alright, Knights of Apollo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to NTW3, the mod for Napoleon Total War. We have a fantastic battle today. So we have two British forces and a Prussian force taking on the French. And man, this battle has so many twists and turns. It is unbelievable. So sit back, relax, get some snacks and drinks, maybe some popcorn. This is a popcorn worthy battle, I promise you that. So be sure to get something yummy and enjoy the battle. Here we go. All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to the battlefield. As you can tell, the British are advancing forward in a very magnificent way. They look fantastic. This map is it's just so vibrant. It's so bright and colorful. It's a real shame. It's so beautiful, but now it's going to be ruined by a horrible battle where many are going to die. Of course, virtually, of course. Now, if we go on the other side, they are taking on the French, like I said earlier. The French spawn really close by. Like, the deployments are really close. So, I think the fight is going to start at any time now. And then the Prussians are way over here on the flank. And you can see they are using the road. They're currently on their way to join the battlefield. These guys look awesome. Love the Prussian look, you know, the black, the blue, looks fantastic. So Prussia on their way to the battlefield. So the two British forces here are going to have quite the challenge of kind of holding against three French forces. Two French armies are very close, and then a third one is kind of far away. So they're probably going to go toe-to-toe with the Prussians for sure. But as of right now, oh wait, cancel that. I was gonna say we don't see any French units, but here we go. We got the French Cav who are scouting out the battlefield. The British have advanced forward. This is actually a Spanish unit. They have advanced forward with their Cav. So this isn't exactly like UK. This is like UK, Portugal, and Spain, and then I believe this one is just UK and Portugal. So it's like the Iberian armies, but I would say it's mostly British, if I'm not mistaken. So by the way, in case you're wondering, this map here is Vargum. Did I just slaughter that? I think I just slaughtered that name. Is it Warg? It's like literally, if you translate it into English, like pronounce it English-wise, like what am I even trying to? Wargrum, Vergrum. I don't know. It's something like, it's a historical battlefield. It was the French versus the Austrians, so the factions aren't necessarily historical, but especially not with like Spain and Portugal. But yeah, anyways, so it looks like they're making their stand at this little river here, this little creek. It really won't give them much. I think it's more of just cosmetic. They just kind of painted it blue. And if you zoom out, it looks like a little river creek, but when you zoom in, it's just blue grass. But yeah, they're kind of making their stand. It looks like they're gonna stand their ground at this village here, at the bed of this river. And then the longer they wait, the better, because Prussia is getting closer and closer as we speak. So he's got some landwehr, very cool. He's got his dragoons over here. So some awesome stuff. It's gonna make this this battle kind of unravel in a very unique way. Huge French Cav presence was just spotted, and they are starting to vanish here as they go out of line of sight. But we had 4 or 5 units of French Cav, 4 or 5 units of French Cav looking to get a fight going. But Prussia was well prepared for it. You can see they've lined up their Cav as well to kind of meet them in case they fought. Now over here, look at this. We do have a Cav. It looked like a scouting operation, but it does not lead to an attack. You got, wait, no, they are going for it. They are going for it. They're going for the artillery. So the French, we can finally see more of their forces, and I think they protected it. I'm fairly certain they did. It's hard to tell. Oh, are they breaking? No, I think the cannon crew broke. They might return to the battlefield. Man, that's crazy. It's crazy how quick that can happen, and you can take out an entire... Oh, yeah, I think they took out that artillery. The French just not able to protect their artillery, and a really good aggressive strike from the British forces. So the French are going to have to recover from that. They are down an artillery piece, which makes things much more difficult. It might put pressure on the French forces to get aggressive and start attacking the British position because they don't have the luxury of sitting back, at least not as much after losing that artillery. We have more French infantry appearing on the battlefield as they get ready to take on the British head-on. Apply directly to the head-on. So anyway, I always think of that when I say head-on. Anyways. So here's more French cav. This is the original French cav we saw earlier. They are once again just kind of scouting out the position, kind of seeing what the Prussians are doing. The Prussians are essentially doing the same thing here. They're just, you know, moving up their scout units, looking at what the French has. And still no infantry over here yet, though. No infantry. I'm sure they're somewhere in here. And I think right here, this is technically, it looks like grapes or something. I think this is supposed to simulate cornfields, because there was a lot of cornfields on the battlefield of this specific battlefield. Anyways, little side note, look at what the artillery is doing right now to these French forces. Absolutely hammering them, just hammering them and crushing the infantry. Now, I don't see any French artillery over on this side. They're definitely going to need some artillery support. And we're just watching cannonballs fly over their heads. It is an absolute terrifying sight, especially if you are a French soldier. I mean, imagine just standing here, and you're thinking, I could be next. All it takes is a cannonball to fly my way. That's all it's gonna take. But yeah, they are gonna maneuver. It looks like more and more infantry. They are making their way to this front line. And I think the French are going to plan an attack here, just because the British have such a good artillery position. I mean, look at this. And they are now going for the French cav. That's a smart move right there. Take out these hussars. You really hurt the mobility of this French army. So that's a good target. And then finally, guys, we are starting to see the French infantry. And what is going on? There's a lot of movement, We do have, oh yeah, the Prussians are going in. They are going in, and I think France was not expecting them to commit because they were looking the wrong way. But I don't know if Prussia's going to come out on top here. Getting a little too aggressive. The infantry is now opening fire on that Prussian cav, and now the infantry is going to reform with the rest of their infantry, and they're going to look out because there is another Prussian cav unit. Thankfully, the Prussians wised up there, and they are not going to commit their cav into that fight because that is a losing fight. So they are going to fall back their landwehr and regroup, which is smart. And the rest of their cav is going to regroup. I don't think the Prussians were really planning on winning in that engagement. I don't think they were going to like, oh, we're going to stomp the French army while they're busy marching. I think what he's doing is trying to slow down the French army because it appears that the French are going for a splitting maneuver. It looks like they want to split off the Prussians, but I don't know. Maybe the Prussians don't mind. The Prussians might make a defensive stand at this little town here. That might be their best plan of action, but they are moving up some artillery, so it does look like they're going to make their stand here, and these two great armies are about to go at it in epic fashion. So we'll see how that unravels. Let's go back over to the other side, though. Whoa, what just appeared over here? Some French cav. Okay, interesting. They're scouting out this area. Very cool. Let's go back over here, though, because we do have the first infantry battle, like infantry v infantry, starting to open fire upon each other. The British are really going lights out over here in terms of fire rate. Oh, look how cool that is. Look at that army. Look at that army. So cool. The flags and everything. That looks awesome. I always enjoy seeing like multi-layered, army formations. You know, you got first layer, second layer, third layer. It just looks awesome. So they're gonna go ahead and start opening fire, trying to soften up the French lines. Finally, the French fire back, and now this epic fight is really starting to pick up. You're gonna see a lot of casualties here on out as these two epic armies clash. What is this over here? Is this oh, this must be a breaking cav unit. It looks like some French cav. They're done. They're like, we're done with this. And then we have more and more infantry pushing forward. Looks like, are these Swiss? Got the red coats there. It might be Swiss infantry. Unfortunately, with the new update, you can't see what faction, what unit it is. So you can see like what your unit is. Yeah, see how you can see what they are, because this is in the perspective of the British side. So yeah, it just makes it a little bit more challenging. It makes you have to know what the units are and make you a bit more knowledgeable of like, because some units can form square and some cannot. So it makes it, you know, you have to learn like, hey, this unit form square? I don't know. Should I cav charge? Should I not? It's something you just have to learn through experience. But yeah, more and more infantry pushing, and it looks like the French are going to get pretty aggressive here. Oh yeah, look at this army. Look at this army. Now the British are moving up some cav. They're looking for an opportunity. They don't like what they see, so they're going to go ahead and disengage. Am I seeing cannonballs? Wait, why is this artillery dangerously firing near their own allies? I think he might have been going for the cav, but that came really close to hitting his own troops. I would try to go for this infantry, because the way they're lined up compared to that artillery, you could get some good strikes there. But it does appear, at least in my opinion, I think what the French are doing, and I could be completely wrong, he could be just trying to keep these guys occupied and going for a victory on this flank. That might be the case. As you can tell, the British are falling back. They don't like what they see here, and they're going to regroup. They've already got some infantry breaking. Now, here's the catch, guys. Here's the thing that's really risky about forming up by this red line. Some units will break and come back, but if you're too close to the red line, they will break, leave the battlefield, and you'll never get them back. So there is a risk involved with using this like red line defense. And I don't think the player's intentionally trying to use a red line defense. I just think he's trying to hold this village, which is close to the red line. It's something he has to watch out for. But yeah, this is a massive retreat, fall back from the British against the French. Now over on this side, things look as equally challenging as the other side. The French are making great progress here. They've got a massive line. I don't even know how this happened over here, but a massive line. Look at these coats too. Look at these uniforms. Oh my god. Very like American, you know, I get the red, white, and blue. Very cool. Anyways, they've got a lot of forces pushing on this flank and just causing mass casualties. Now we've got a cav charge in the back lines. Look at this. The back lines. I don't know what France is really doing here. He's not going to win this engagement. I don't know what he was going for. But it doesn't really lead to much other than him losing this cav unit. I think they will return. He's got some lights, though. Got to be careful with those lights, and he knows it. He's going to retreat his lights out of there, because if I was the British, I would be trying to chase down those light units. But the British are not going to go for it. And back over on this side. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. So what the French did here is that they did not attack the Prussians. I think this big flanking force was the army headed towards the Prussians, and they just simply turned and helped their French ally, the other French army. So the Prussians now have a little flame under their feet, under their ass, so to speak. They have a little heat under them. They got to hurry up. They got to get over and support their allies. Now, France does have a bit of a rear guard force, it looks like. They are starting to fall back, though. I'm curious to see what France has in stopping the Prussians' advance. Let's go back over to the main fight, though, and see how this side is progressing. While the French have taken control of this town, that is huge. And the French are going to continue to push. Now, the British do have a more steep hill that they can hold on to, and it looks like this is, I mean, this is it. Like, I mean, I guess they could fall back more, but in terms of terrain advantage, I think this is the best location. It's really not much, but it's something. I mean, it's possible that the British here fall back even more, but I think it's their time to kind of make their stand and try to take on the French, and maybe, you know, with the French getting hyper aggressive here, maybe they can get them to get, you know, they'll make a mistake, you know, an aggressive mistake. We'll see. But so far, what I think the British do have going in their favor is a cav presence. They still have a lot of cav and, of course, artillery. So they still have that going on. In terms of infantry, though, the infantry fight, it's looking like it's all France. I mean, France is just chewing up. Look at this. They just look battered and scattered and just a mess right now. Artillery looks like it's hammering this position along with the infantry that is advancing forward. Buildings have been destroyed from the bombardment of the artillery. So the French infantry, along with their artillery, is doing pretty good over here. Now, keep in mind, I still think the French artillery is at a little bit of a disadvantage because they lost a piece, right? They lost a piece of artillery. I think the rules for NTW3 is like max 2 artillery, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like hard-coded in the game. Like, it's not like rules that players have to follow. If you select 2 artillery pieces, that's all you can get. Like, the rest gray out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Anyways, the French are inflicting a ton of damage on the British. And oh my goodness. Okay, things are getting wild over here. We have massive cav engagements. Oh yeah, the Prussians just won an engagement. He's going in for another one. The French once again caught looking the wrong way, and they're gonna experience a deadly charge, which they felt that charge. Their morale is recovering, but it was pretty low, and it's going back down. I think the Prussians are gonna win this engagement as well. Prussia doing a great job with, oh, slicey dicey, doing a great job with their cav and inflicting a lot of damage against this French force. Now the French are sending in their last reserves of cav as they try to hold on to the back line of their formation. They should, I swear, if the Prussians win this engagement, I will be greatly impressed. And it's close. It looks like they're gonna, well, it's tough. It's back and forth between these two. Back and forth. Oh my goodness! The Prussian cav. What are these guys? Dragoons? My goodness. They just ripped through 3 units of French cav, if I am not mistaken. Now we have another French unit of cav moving in. And once again, this is not helping. This is not helping the French cav presence. They've been losing most of the cav engagements in this battle, and that might bite them in the butt later on. Sure, they just broke this Prussian cav unit, but totally worth it. I mean, this Prussian cav unit took out 3 French cav. That's insane. Now we have the rear guard of this French army doing what they can. This is a losing battle for the French, but they don't necessarily have to win it here. What they're trying to do is delay the Prussians, delay them before they can get over to the British and help them out. But we got some sick units. Look at these guys. God. Look at the officer. He's like, I'm staying low. Put on a uniform like this, like instant, like morale plus 100. Going to war. Let's go. Uniforms were just something special back then. I mean, obviously you can't have uniforms like. I mean, we have like dress uniforms in today's time, but like, obviously you wouldn't be on the field dressed like this. But it would be cool. Let's go back over to this heavy infantry fight. The two forces just slugging at each other right now. Just two heavyweights just throwing punches at each other. Absolutely just brutal carnage right now. But the British, hey, I got to give them credit. They are holding on. I thought the French would have taken much more ground at this stage of the battle. But yeah, they are just both, just like I said, two heavyweights slugging it right now. Now we've got an aggressive charge. Ooh, nice artillery hit there. It's going to really complement this charge. Let's see if the French can actually... Nah. That's what I was afraid of. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. The British artillery has something to say. The British artillery... Oh, very good positioning here with this artillery. Just blasting this French infantry that is advancing forward. So... this is definitely helping even the odds for the British, but this flank is still a major concern as there is no artillery support. And if I am the French forces here, and very nice job with the square formation, zoning out that British cav. But if I'm the French here, I would be getting hyper aggressive on this flank because you got to get to that artillery to save your men's lives. Where is this? Okay, over on the other side, let's get a good look at this. Wow, big cav charge, a counter cav charge. It looks like we got the tail end of a infantry charge, and the cav is going to come in and try to even it out. And now we've got another charge. My goodness. And again, guys, this is what I was talking about. You can't lose the cav battles. You've got to win the cav battles in this game. Really, in any Total War, having cav where your enemy doesn't have cav, you have a huge advantage over them. So that was a really good play by the British. Sure, they lost some infantry, but they sent in some cav and took out 3 units of French infantry that went in for a charge. Now the French are angry. They're setting up their cav as well. And the British are doing an excellent job here as well. Again, it looks a little worrisome for them. I like how the French have this reserve force, just kind of keeping them rested, you know, waiting their turn. They're going to have a fresh army for whatever the British have left. And the British are constantly moving. They're constantly reforming. And it's because they just, you know, they don't have the manpower right now. They've got to think of something. They've got the cav. The cav's been doing wonders, but they got to think of something creative here on how to bring down this army. Let's go back over to this side where the French, you can tell it. You can smell it in the air. The French, not that they're stinky, but they smell like fromage. They smell like cheese, right? No, jewelry god. I'm just kidding. You can smell the anger, the aggressiveness of this French army as they advance forward and bring pain to the British, because they want to get to that artillery. They want to get behind this force because the French are, a lot of forces are breaking here. A lot of forces are breaking. They still hold the center. They have artillery still supporting, but this entire flank over here has been a huge success for the British, which is awesome for them. They could probably peel a couple units back and try to help the other side, but they've got to hurry up. This entire line is crumbling. Now, back over here on the rear guard, the French are they're trying to line up their infantry to shoot at this cav. Oh, and right they do. That was beautiful. I love the officer. Officer got a good pistol shot, too. He's like, I'm with you, man. We will hold the rear. We will hold the rear. Yeah, so they're desperately trying to hold the rear, and it's working. It's working, but they're running out of time. You know, this right here is the end of the route. I think this is probably it. They're probably going to form up with this artillery, and you better hope that this French army over here is victorious, and it looks like they are moments away of completely wiping out the British forces here. The British did a really good job on this front, but unfortunately the French he basically got double teamed, so he did a great job, all things considered. But unfortunately, it's so weird to see Highlanders with a Spanish flag. That is just really weird to me. But yeah, they're gonna charge in. Highlanders are no joke. They're gonna charge in and bring some hate with their bayonets, and that's most likely gonna break these French infantry. But you can see the French are now, maneuvering over to help the Prussians. Now, if I'm the French rear guard over here, there's a huge bayonet battle going on right now, but I would retreat. I would retreat to the artillery right here. Like, I would form a line right here and wait for reinforcements from the victorious French over from this side. Now, you can see that the French are shifting over infantry as we speak, and this is becoming a very interesting battle, a very desperate battle for both sides, really. And there we go. The French still just going in with the bayonets. Look at that. This is such a beautiful battlefield, too. It's so colorful. But yeah, absolute carnage right here. The French, amazing breakage here. The French were able to break a lot. Now, these are Landwehr. They're not the greatest of soldiers, but nonetheless, a great stand by the rear guard of the French army. And now the rest of the forces are going to group up over there and kind of support and help. Now, we do have a Prussian flank happening right now. Again, this is Landwehr. I believe the French should be able to take care of this fairly well. They're going to form up on this far flank and start opening fire on the Prussians. Here we go. Very nice. Let's go to the other side. Let's see what's happening here. This is another critical battle. This is kind of do or die for the British. If this British army falls, I think this battle's over and it's a French victory. Now, if the British can get creative here and come out on top, or at the very least keep this army occupied and busy, then I think they have a good chance. Now, the French, I knew it. I knew it. I was thinking in my head, I was like, I half expect this French army to shift troops over to the other side because, first off, the British are still alive and well over here. Oh my goodness. They're alive and well. Yeah, no, this is going well. This is actually kind of turning on the French. The French, they've got to deal with the British forces on this side. They're losing. They're losing. Now, we do have some French artillery. Is this the artillery I thought that died? Did they come back? Looks like they did. Unless this is a different unit. Oh, they're even shooting through their own men. Trying to weaken the British infantry as they push forward. This is not good. The French artillery is exposed. They need to hurry up and fire. Do grape shot or something. They're getting shot at as we speak. And I don't see any infantry reserves. There's one infantry over here, which they need to push up and help. But this infantry unit, are they oh, there they go. Are they gonna just fire or are they gonna charge? Don't really know, but the French are having to reform here. This is quite an unorganized. Whoa, here we go. Here comes some French forces. Okay. I don't know. Where did these guys come from? Nonetheless, they are much needed for this fight over on this side. This is pretty cool. Now, the Prussians, they're walking in dangerous territory. This formation is nightmare mode right now. I don't know what they're going for. I guess they're just going right up the gut to take out this artillery. This could be disaster for the Prussians because they're walking into a trap, essentially. They are going to be surrounded from both sides. You see how they're just getting shot at as they advance this artillery? They might take out the artillery, but is it worth it? The Prussian army is in disarray, and the French could easily gobble this up. This is only going to put more pressure on this British army. Oh, hold on. We've got a general assassination attempt. The King's German Legion. I think they're gonna get him. I think they're gonna absolutely get him. We've got some infantry sitting in reserve. Is this guy getting dragged? Oh man, look at this guy. Yep, there we go. I'm sorry, we should have been watching the general battle, but I saw this guy being dragged by this poor horse, and this poor guy, really, I should say. The horse is fine. Except he's about to walk into a crossfire of line infantry, and I do not recommend that. I would turn, horse, please, and get this poor guy, this poor soul. Can we see his face? Look at him. Help me. Anyways, let's zoom out of here. So a great charge by the British Cav, and they're going in for more against the French infantry. The Queen's Own. This is a different Cav unit than what the German dragoons took out the French general, and now they're going after this French infantry. This is huge. This is a turning point. This is where the British can turn the tables, and they certainly are, as they advance their infantry forward and bring pain to this French force. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Cav is king. You gotta keep your Cav alive. Gotta keep your Cav alive. Whew. Okay, and then here comes these French reinforcements finally. It looks like he's got 3. I thought it was 4 units, but 3 appear here. They need to set up quickly. organize their men and start fighting these Highlanders. And this is not going to be an easy... These are Highlanders. Not going to be an easy task. These are tough, tough soldiers. Back over here, though, the Prussians just... Yeah, I don't know what happened. I honestly don't. The Prussians might have single-handedly have thrown this battle away. They got really desperate for that artillery position. They funneled all of their troops like a stream going after the French. And the French were just able to use way less troops and just fired from both sides and just wipe them out. So this is going to cause a ton of French infantry to be free to move around. So, but this is huge. This is huge right now. If you're rooting for the British to win this one, you got to be feeling pretty good about this. You got to be feeling pretty good. With Cav alone, they just broke an entire army of French infantry. So they're going to go ahead and chase them down and make sure they don't return to the fight. This British infantry is going to quickly maneuver over to their ally and try to save these Highlanders. How epic would it be if he can actually get over here and save these troops? They're desperately fighting. You can see they now split. They still have artillery over here too. Absolute mad lads. You know, at one point this army looked like they were going to be totally wiped out. Now, I think what happened is that the Prussian... Okay, you got to give credit to the Prussians in one regard. They did move fairly quickly and put pressure on the French. And by doing that, the French pulled a lot more troops away from this fight prematurely and didn't completely wipe out the British here. So it's still a little thorn in the side of the French. Still a little bit of a problem. Back over here, yeah, an entire French army was destroyed. And now we have a very healthy, this was well played. Well played. You know, they kept falling back. They didn't fight in any battles they didn't have the advantage in. You guys see, I mean, this is like Tactics 101. The British player here did not hang around in any fight that he believed he was at a disadvantage. He fell back, and he fell back, and he fell back. And then opportunities arose. You know, like the French started shifting troops over to this side, you know? This French army got a lot weaker. The French army kept losing Cav. And then all of a sudden, you know, the tables turn and the British have the advantage and they go in with their Cav and they just completely crush this French army. I mean, talk about a 180. You know, you go from, oh my God, we're pushing them and we're pushing them and we're pushing them to, oh, we're done. You know, we're done. I'm done. We got surrounded by Cav. Battle's over. It's just insane. Just insane. So here we go. And the British are not letting up. They are getting over there as quick as possible. And they are saving these men. These men. These brave souls that are not willing to give up. They have been fighting here since pretty much the whole entire battle. Entire battle. And they are just... They're fighting like champs right now. And they're getting really close to breaking this unit. So we'll see if they can actually do it. Got a unit. I love how he's using the buildings here. He's putting pressure on the flank. And now here comes the British with the reinforcements that they desperately need. So this is a back and forth battle. Looks like some Prussians have returned as well. This is going to be a problem for the French. Now these units have already broken. So they're exhausted. They're concerned. You know, most of their army's gone. They've already broken. So they're not going to have exactly the greatest fighting spirit right now, but it's still a problem. It's still a fairly large infantry force. Now this artillery could probably single-handedly defeat this Prussian force. Let's see. Is there only one functional? No, it looks like there's two. Yeah, I think they're going to be able to break these guys. Yeah, see, they're already breaking. So, but still, it's a little concerning. It's something they have to look out for. And here we go. This is like the epic conclusion of this battle right here. And the British just, I'm really impressed. I really am. I mean, it went from total like this army looks screwed to this army is dominating everyone. You know, just absolutely fantastic tactics there. Really good long-term strategy of, you know, wait, let's just wait, fall back, wait, okay, now, you know, and it paid off perfectly. The French are looking weak. You know, they are looking weak. And really, really good stuff right here. I think the British are winning this firefight. There's multiple units. You can see the French are now falling back. They're reorganizing. They're waiting for reinforcements to get up here. Really, really good stuff. The Prussians are still in it. They got one more unit. They're trying. They're exhausted. When your unit's exhausted in this game, in this mod, they are very slow. Look how slow they're going. And it's not because they're running through the fake river, okay? It's just because they're exhausted. And they're about to break right here. Ooh. Maybe not. That cannonball. I think he hit the ground. Ooh. Oh, wow. No, there was actually a splash of water. So maybe this does register as water. I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. It's like a creek. Whatever. But they're gonna start. Oh, this is good. They might actually kill the artillery crew. Who knows? Okay, let's go back over to this side though. Now, unfortunately, it looks like the brave Highlanders are done for. Oh, Allied general. Oh no. Oh, okay, well that's fine. This general, his army was pretty much dead anyways. It is Arthur, which is a huge loss. But yeah. It's not a big deal. His army's already gone, so there's going to be no morale loss there. So this is going to be epic, guys. It's going to come down to these two forces right here. There is still some French. These are some French units that return who were embarrassed over here by that really good maneuver of cav charges. So this is going to be a little bit of a problem for the British. For the British, I don't know. They're going to have to... This is going to be tough. This is going to be a close battle, guys. I mean, it's going to come down to the wire. It's getting smoky too. I mean, look how cool. Look how cool the advancing French look. Got that beautiful town in the back. Such a beautiful map. Now let's look how intimidating the British look from the French point of view. Yeah, pretty intimidating. Very thick units of men. You know, they're not as thinned out like the French. And I like how he's just holding in square because he's worried. He is worried about the cav charge. Oh, and who's got the flag? Look at him. He's like, no, I'll stand in the front. Look at him. Dedicated, dude. That's a flag bearer that I would want on my side. Look at him. Just, they won't see me. I'm safe here. It's like, dude, you have a giant flag over you. Oh, man. A cav charge in the rear. I don't think it's going to lead to much, but it's certainly going to distract the French for a little bit there. He's got some infantry kind of lined up, shooting at him as they retreat. The British cav charges have been very effective. And, oh, no. This is big right here. So, the British are definitely outnumbered in terms of manpower, I assume. But they have the advantage in cav presence. Let's see what he can do here. Cav's getting shot at. He's got to make a choice here. And this is his decision. He's going for... Oh, but they formed square. So he's going to break off the general. Oh, no. It looks like the general's breaking. William Carr. He's breaking from the battlefield. And now we've got a cav charge. Oh, everybody's forming square. No. This might be it for the British. It's tough. It's tough. But, you know, it might not be it. Because there's a lot of French infantry that are breaking. Look at this. The morale is dropping. Amazingly enough. You would not think that would happen considering that the British are kind of surrounded right now. But maybe these troops just can't see that. You know, maybe they just can't see this British line being surrounded. You know, it's amazing, like, how many times in history that an army is actually winning but end up breaking because of miscommunication or confusion. You know, it's absolutely stunning how often that can happen, or how often it happens. And I guess it can happen for future battles, but you know, war sucks. Hopefully we can get to a point in human history where we don't have battles anymore. That would be nice. But you get what I'm saying. So yeah, they just broke this entire French line. This is huge. I think right here, guys, the British have just taken the advantage. If these three reinforcements arrived like 2 minutes sooner, I think this battle outcome would be completely different. I absolutely think these 3 units would have been enough to save that French line that was just getting chewed up. They still might commit. They might do some damage here. And then let's not forget, oh yeah, he still got his cav alive. Oh, this is it. This is an absolute stunning comeback from the British allies. This is unbelievable. Yeah, they just won this battle, guys. They just won this battle. This was like a victory, single-handed victory almost. Not exactly. The British player who held here did a great job, but I just loved how he played this battle. I mean, you could even see the points where he fell back. I mean, it started here, right? The French were getting shelled at. They fell back here. Some British troops were dead here. They kind of held. Then they fell back over here, and then over here. And just kept falling back, and then boom, they found an opportunity and just saved the day. So all that's left now is a few French forces. He's going for the artillery here. Good move there. The Cav. The Cav is the MVP of this battle. And this is just a great battle showing you the importance of Cav. And there's really not much to see here with the French. I don't expect them to hold much longer. There's a couple units returning from breaking, but it's so over that there's no way they're going to recover from this financially. But thank you guys. I'm not ending the video here, but of course thank you guys for it's just so awesome that there's so many people who enjoy these NTW battles. And I know there's a big community. I am always in need of replays. You can send in replays onto my Discord. You can even DM me replays. I still don't have any results. I guess there's some results here, but overall results, nothing. So this was sent in by William Carr. This was, I believe, the player who pulled off the impressive maneuver. Let me get his name real quick. So his name is Guy. Or G, it's like G-E-E. I do appreciate the battle replay. This was absolutely fantastic, and I hope you guys enjoyed this battle as much as I did. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, of course, don't forget to like and all that jazz. It does help a lot. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time on the battlefield.